Gone are the days of us leave your problems at the door. The research
Right.
shows that when you can come to work as your authentic self, bringing even your problems, you'll work
Mhm.
harder, longer, faster for the person, that company you're working with. I think when
Right.
people don't show up as their authentic selves, they can do it for a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's not sustainable. Shed the costume, be you. We set these outcome goals without setting these short goals in between. And
Right.
then let those short goals build so that you
Right.
accidentally achieve the outcome goal. If you don't enjoy it, if I don't enjoy it, I don't do it.
Right.
Like I'm at that stage in my life where I could be a little picky, but I wish I would have had that confidence to say that to my younger self. If
Right.
it's not enjoyable, don't do it. I don't feel like I worked because I
Mhm.
love it.
Mm.
I'm like,
Good.
I get to do this. Things are crazy sometimes, but
Right.
I enjoy it so it doesn't feel like work.
Welcome to In the Black. I'm your host, Sir McKinley. Our podcast celebrates successful minority entrepreneurs here in the DMV area. We share their inspiring true stories, valuable insights, and tips on how to build a profitable business that stays under black. Today, we have an amazing guest. We're talking with Monica Livingston. She's a culture coach, a dynamic and engaging trainer, motivational speaker, an MC, and also a podcast host. Monica, welcome to In the Black. How are you?
Sterling, what's my friend? I'm living the dream.
Great, great, great. Thanks for being here. I need some water. Your bio was pretty long. You do a million things. Let me refresh. So, tell me your background and how you became a corporate speaker and how you make all these things you do work together.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. First off, I love what you're doing, especially spotlighting the D. Born and raised here.
Oh, awesome.
Grew up in Maryland, and there are not too many native Washingtonians, right? Transients, but been here my entire life. Grew up in Temple Hills, Maryland, and
Hmm.
went to University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Shout out Retriever Fever. And yeah, I've always worked in this area. My speaking journey really happened organically, like
Okay.
by accident. I was teaching and then I didn't really like being in the classroom a lot. I have ADHD, and so the kids were have ADHD. I did. That was a hot mess. Okay.
Bad mix.
Yeah, we took more field trips. By October, I'll never forget. I was teaching. The principal pulls me aside and she said, "Monica, I just want to let you know you're out of your field trip budget." And I'm like, "This, oh man."
Right.
She's like, "It's October," and I was like, "Ooh, okay."
Right.
But I wanted to get them out and learn, not in four walls, and quickly realized that maybe that wasn't the best fit for me. And so I stayed in education for a very long time and went from being in a classroom to literally building my own school with another teammate. As I played football for the DC Divas, a women's
Right.
professional tackle football team.
Let,
And
let,
we
let's
started
pause.
this. Okay,
Let's pause.
okay,
Let's tell me
okay.
more about that. I saw
Yeah,
you doing your Barry Sanders impression. So tell me about how was it playing football and why did you
yeah.
stop playing? Was it injury? What happened with that?
Yes, I was recruited to play tackle off of the flag football. We were playing a
Okay.
competitive downfield blocking 11 on 11 flag football field. And this new league started and they said it's going to be tackle for women. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to take off. The world isn't ready for
Right.
that. And so I didn't do anything with it. And then I went to a game and I was at the game and I was like, oh man, this is hot. I love this. And
Right.
so then I was recruited off that field, played for 6 seasons, running
Okay.
back,
Awesome.
had some success, man. I
Right.
loved it. Teammates were great, still talk to them to this
Okay.
day. An injury did in my
Right.
career. They ran it on channel 5, 7, and 9 and compared to Joe Theismann's injury, bro.
Oh wow.
It was
Oh.
brutal. Yeah,
Oh wow. Sorry about
they're
that.
pictures out there. It was up my ankle turned around
Ugh.
upside down, it was backwards, and it was hanging. So it took me 18 months,
Oh,
2 surgeries. I
wow.
still have 5 pins in a plate in my
Oh
ankle, but I
wow.
got out there, Sterling, I scored 1 more touchdown, my friend, and then that was it.
Call
I
it quits.
retired right then and there. And so that put me on platform as well, right? Going back to the speaking thing, there would be interviews, so I was always one of the ones that pushed into the front to do the sports junkies or to do Channel 5 or one of the spotlights on the team. And so I've always been comfortable talking and speaking. I like people, right? And connecting with people. So that's why I say it happened organically, started all the way in the beginning, I think, with
Hmm.
Positive Coaching Alliance and
Right.
really not. I also volunteered free to speak. And now, fast forward, I'm speaking now on Amazon, doing some work with Google, Reddit, all these places, which is why I tell people just keep at it, one foot in front of the other, because one day you're speaking for free and the next you're on these huge platforms.
Awesome. Let's pause real quick. Your
Yeah.
audio is a little low. Is there any way to
Okay.
turn your microphone up a little bit?
I'm all the way up. I can
All the
talk
way up.
louder. Let's see. I got my little heater on. Was that little interference there?
I didn't hear that, but you more articulate. It's good enough, but if you could get
All right.
louder, that'd be great.
I'll make sure I speak up some too, just so
Okay.
you can
All right.
play with
All right.
that.
With 3, 2, 1. Next question. Okay. So talk about some of the biggest challenges that you see facing executives, athletes, educators, and coaches today.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things in the corporate space
Hmm.
is realizing that people are coming as their whole selves to work. And
Right.
so leaders need to be aware of that. Gone are the days of us leave your problems at the door. The research
Right.
shows that when you can come to work as your authentic self, bringing even your problems, you'll work
Hmm.
harder, longer, faster for the person, that company you're working with. So I think the biggest thing that leaders can do is embrace this totality mindset, right?
Okay.
That I need to take care of my employee from beginning to end. And what you get is a better employee because you're
Right.
helping them outside. So I think that's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
Personally,
Hmm.
with my business, a challenge is social media, man. This is why I
Okay.
want to talk to you. You're the guru. You're the guy,
Right.
especially in in DMV. I struggle with it. I struggle with
Hmm.
when to post, what to post, how to post, how
Right.
much. So I think as my business evolves, I really need to
Hmm.
get a handle on that
Right.
and realize you can't be an expert on anything. So I think it's
Hmm.
time to hire. You
Right.
can't be an expert on everything, I should say. So it's time to hire. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are my challenges right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think you hit a great point that communication and the expectations of employees has changed. And I think about now, if you're a corporate executive, a leader, coach, you need to be active on social media digitally as well. Leadership and communication has really changed now. So I do think it's important for executives to have that training to say, hey,
Yeah.
this is how you communicate on social media, these other ways, because that's the way the world communicates now.
It's change, right? That's the way of the
Right.
world, and so you've gotta get in it
Mhm.
or be left behind, and I don't wanna be
Right.
left behind just because of that, because I think it's important also it shares messaging, it shares
Hmm.
stories, and that's what I'm trying to do is make impact, and
Right.
if you don't know that I'm out
Hmm.
here making the impact, then
Right.
you're not receiving it, so the
Right.
stories, the work that you do is important, helping people,
Yeah.
realize how important it is to share and tell
Mhm.
that story.
I like what you said too. It really story and
Yeah.
storytelling. To
Yeah.
me, that's communication. So whether it's on your website, if I see you on social media or YouTube or even in person, it should be that same messaging. I think
Yeah.
one thing that a lot of people struggle with, they're one way in person, they're one way online, and one way at home. So I always say, you're talking about your full self. You need to show
Yeah,
up the same everywhere. You shouldn't be
exactly.
faking it. You should be
Yeah.
practicing those same teamwork, skills on communication at home and also at work.
Yeah. I was saying this just the other day. I think sometimes people in the workplace, they look at it like a Halloween costume, right? Halloween comes around
Right, right,
and
right.
everybody likes Halloween, and
Put the
you go
mask
to
on.
Halloween parties and you put on this costume and you're excited and you wear it. After a while, Sterling, that mask starts itching, you start sweating, you can
Right,
that costume starts to bother you. And so I think when
right.
people don't show up as their authentic selves, they can do it for a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's not sustainable. Just like that
Right.
Halloween costume is not sustainable. Shed the costume, be you, and that's what resonates with people. People
Yeah.
are more like you than they
Right.
aren't. And
Mhm.
so when they can see that connection builds all these other great things. So take the Halloween
I
costumes
like
off,
it.
people.
Take the mask off.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's important too because just being real. I've been to some people, some places, some churches, and people
Right,
are
right.
too nice and they cut off
Yeah,
phony. So being real, even having those flaws, you're not perfect. Maybe you're
yeah,
not having a great day today. Be real. Some people that are always happy, that's not really real. That's not real life.
yeah.
So it is important to be human in the way you communicate because that's going to draw people in. What are some of the strategies you use to motivate people, companies, individuals to reach their goals? Because I just say we're in February now. People have goals. I want to lose weight this year. But how? When? How you gonna measure that? So talk about
Right.
how we can set goals and actually achieve those goals.
Yeah. So I think it's important to reward even unsuccessful effort.
Oh, I
right?
like that.
So right now, what we do is we're so focused on reward for something that we achieved, but you
Hmm.
put forth effort, you didn't achieve it yet. You need to reward unsuccessful effort. And the reason
Right.
you do that is because it builds and it broadens, right? So then that's
Right.
going to catch on. You're feeding your soul, so to speak, with these little ingredients that when it catches on, and then boom, you make it. So I think, take for instance, losing weight, right? I've been there, done that. I'm a professional athlete. Okay. You talk
Right.
about somebody in
Right.
shape. Boy, back in the day, shoot, right? And it's been
Right.
a struggle since
Right.
not playing
Hmm.
because I've never was a person to work out because I like to work out. I just always played sports and it was
Hmm.
part of it. So I was
Right.
in shape. So I would start just like you said, I'm gonna not eat this, I'm gonna work out 6
Right.
days a week. I've got a Peloton, I've got all
Right.
this stuff. And then I thought, let me just take some smaller steps. So I think we set these outcome goals without setting these short goals in
Mm-hmm.
between. And
Right.
then let those short goals build so that you
Right.
accidentally achieve the outcome goal. So what I
Right.
did was start slow and
Yeah.
reward myself, right?
Right.
I'm not going to work out 5 days a week. I'm not riding 18 miles. No, I'm not. I might ride
Right.
3 miles on that bike, but the
Hmm.
goal is smaller. The goal is, Monica, can you move your body for just 20 minutes today? Some kind of way.
Right.
Walk a dog, whatever, just move your body. And then what
Right.
happens is I start to see the results. That's the
Hmm.
reward. And then I go, oh, I wonder what happens if I move it for 30. Now I'm
Right.
feeling better. I'm more
Hmm.
energized. Now I'm on the bike and I'm riding for 30. Okay,
Hmm.
this is working out. Oh, I haven't been able to wear these jeans in a minute. This is cute.
Right.
Okay. So the little steps along the
Hmm.
way I allow to fuel the ultimate outcome goal. So I think we need to be
Right.
kinder to ourselves on the
Hmm.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It is having that long term goal and so having those benchmarks to get there. Because let's say I'm gonna lose 100 pounds in a year. That's tough,
Right.
but let's break it up.
Right.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
lose 10 pounds a month. That's something major you can do. And
Right.
I'll say too, whether it's working out, business, whatever, is that you have to enjoy what you're doing. So if you go
That
to the gym
part.
every day and you're killing yourself and you're all sore, let's be serious. After a week or
Yeah.
two, you're not gonna want to do it. It's making sure what you're
What
doing is enjoyable too.
Yeah, what did they say? I think I read something once that everybody has a New Year's resolution, right?
Right.
And if you can make past,
Hmm.
I think they said January 21st, then you are on to something and that
Right.
might that you may real have real change. But you hit a point. If you don't enjoy it, if I don't enjoy it, I don't do it.
Right.
Like I'm at that stage in my life where I could be a little picky, but I wish I would have had that confidence to say that to my younger self. If
Right.
it's not enjoyable, don't do it. I don't feel like I worked because I
Mhm.
love it.
Mm.
I'm
That's
like,
good.
I get to do this. Things are crazy sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go sit on the beach. But
Right.
I enjoy it so it doesn't feel like work. I can't imagine somebody
Right.
that's going 9 to 5, 5 days a week, every waiting on that same paycheck every 2 weeks.
Right.
That they exactly the same,
Mm.
exactly how much it's gonna be. That's just not for me. Yeah. So yeah,
I feel like
I
we're
think
having
everybody,
a TED talk now, but it's true. There's so many people in life that are doing things that they hate. They're getting up, going
yeah,
for that job. They're dating that wrong person. They know that they should leave. And
hey,
personally, I'm not like that. If I'm doing something, I say we gotta change. I'm looking for jobs. I'm making a
yep.
change, getting better. So yeah, definitely, you'll make sure you enjoy what you do. So moving on, in your experience, what are some of the common myths or misconceptions you encounter about leadership, decision making, and problem solving?
Okay. I think that you have to have for problem solving and leadership that the person that's leading has all the answers. And they don't. They are just for a multitude of reasons, one or a bunch of the same reasons put into this position. And so I
Right.
think it's okay to look to leadership, but you also have to trust yourself, right? The word leader in and of itself can be problematic if the person that
Right.
is the leader isn't good. When I look at leadership, I always say I don't ever ask anybody or never ask anybody that works for me to do something that I
Hmm.
wouldn't do myself. And leadership should be about example and
Right.
should be about making people around you better. If
Okay.
it's about bossing them around
Right.
and being in this hierarchy position, you're not a real leader. So I think
Hmm.
when you have a leader, you need to see, hey, is this person leading the right way? Are they investing in
Right.
me? Are they trying to make me better? Do they want me to succeed? If not, you can't be my leader if that's not it. If you're not
Right.
working in the pit with me, you can't talk to me about what I'm getting ready to do if you haven't done it or aren't
Hmm.
willing to do it. And
Right.
the other thing I think that leaders should do is pause and let the teams have a voice. Let
Mm.
their teams have a voice.
Okay.
If you're on my team, I need to listen to you because you're the person most of the time implementing what I want done.
Right.
You're the person the boots on the ground. So I can't sit up here
Hmm.
from this chair and talk down to you. I need to listen to what you're doing.
Right.
So I think the misconceptions our leaders have all the answers.
Hmm.
Misconception, if you're a leader, is that you need to have all the answers. The
Right.
answers are in your people. Listen to them and grow together.
Right.
And it's really about making people better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So, what were some of the key turning points in your life that led you to becoming a motivational speaker and also an educator?
Yeah. A speaker. I was leading a class one day and for another company. And I remember what they were paying me to be there all day Saturday. And then I found out that the people in the room paid per person. And I quickly did math at lunchtime. And I thought
Right.
about what was in the room, how much money was in the room, and how much I was getting paid, and that I was there all day. And I thought there's
Right.
got to be a better way. And
Yes.
I can make the impact I want to make if
Right.
it's more my story than the
Hmm.
story they're telling me to tell. And at
Right.
that moment, that day, I said, not
Not again.
again.
Right.
I took the jump. I took a leap of faith. I didn't have any reserve. Some people tell you have this amount before you start a business,
Six
get an
months. Yeah.
investor. I
Right.
just launched, man. I just jumped and figured I trusted myself and my network, though. I had spent a
Hmm.
lot of time. I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, and I think I mentioned to you before. I believe relationships is the key to success in life and being happy and all of
Right.
that. And by relationships, if you take care of the people that
Hmm.
care for you and that you care about, they will in
Right.
turn take care of you.
Yeah.
I have never, ever applied, filled out a speaker application in
Oh,
my
wow.
life.
Wow.
Never where they've said, "Call for speakers,
Right.
send us your stuff." Never, not one time.
Wow.
Some of that, I'm not saying people shouldn't. Some of that was I didn't have at times the stuff you needed. I had the one
Right.
sheeter, but I didn't have the video of me fully speaking.
Hmm.
All of my speaking gigs have come from relationships. Someone
Wow.
heard me and I built a relationship with them and they referred me, or someone referred me. And so I only mention that again, nothing about how the business works. So you need to fill
Hmm.
out that stuff. But just also, if you take care of people and you're
Hmm.
just freaking kind, they'll take care of
Right.
you.
That's awesome. Okay. So, what are some of the benefits that a company or person can expect to gain from working with you?
They will have accidentally the best team bonding experience.
Okay.
They think I'm coming in to talk about D&I or I'm coming in to talk about leadership or goal
Right.
setting, and it ends up being an event. Their teams will feel closer together. We're going to laugh, have a good time. The
Right.
culture will shift to a caring culture from just a mundane work culture. And when you
Hmm.
do that, I'm guaranteeing you get that group narrative goal achieved a lot faster and
Right.
sooner because of the cohesiveness from the team. From the locker room
Right.
to the boardroom, I can tell you what builds championship teams in sports,
Hmm.
and all of those same things
Right.
show up and can show up in the world of in corporate America.
That's awesome. So, how do you sustain those positive feelings? Because you know how it is. You go to a session, you speak to a coach, you
Yeah,
go to a workshop, you are motivated, and then
yeah.
you leave, and then the parking lot, you're dealing with the same issue. So, how can somebody take those things they learn in one of your sessions and really apply them to their life so they're ongoing?
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that because one of the first things I say is that I want when I'm working with clients, I want to make long lasting impact.
Right.
Everybody can go to a workshop and it's raw. And then
Right.
what?
Right.
And then what? I want to be a part of the then what. And
Right.
so what I do is I follow up with videos. I follow it up with
Okay.
learning methods. I follow up with the client. I don't do one and done. And from a
Right.
business standpoint, that's been great for me because I embed myself in the fabric of the culture of that company and I'm an
Right.
extension, so to speak, I'm an extended employee, if you will.
Okay.
They have me come back often and
Right.
often, so I can really make
Hmm.
change. The being intentional on the other side of it
Right.
for the companies, being intentional about the change that you want to make. If you truly want it to be different, you got to do different.
Right.
So if and my stuff is concrete. Three
Mhm.
times this week, I want you to shout somebody out at work,
Right.
recognize them at work in
Okay.
the Slack channel or whatever.
Right.
Then you have to do that three times a week. Then
Mm.
they have to do it three times a week.
Okay.
You can't deny the power dynamic and the
Right.
shift that's going to
Mhm.
happen when everybody's getting their flowers.
I read your bio when you do a million things. How do you find balance of the demands of your clients and your work, but also find that time to take care of yourself and have a personal life?
Yeah, I have really good friends,
Okay.
and they help me take time out. I'm not the
Right.
scheduler in our group. They're like, "We're gonna get together this day here. You gotta be here." In our like group text, I watch people go, "Yep, that day works for me," and then I
Okay.
would be the only one that it didn't. So I'd make my calendar make it work
Right.
for me 'cause I got a little FOMO. I
Mhm.
think it's really in the people around you, right?
Mm.
That's how I refuel. That's how I
Right.
regenerate is by having good championship type
Mhm.
caliber character people around me and spending time with them. I like TV shows. I love to binge
Right.
watch TV shows and I do it with earphones, even though I'm in my house because it helps me
Right.
just focus on the TV show
Okay.
and not
Not
anything
other
else.
thing.
Yeah, I can't hear the email dinging and then go hold my phone and go, wait a
Right.
minute, who is that? So
Right.
I just time, right? Just taking
Mhm.
time away from it all, spending it with good people and then doing
Right.
something that I love that occupies my mind.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's really important. Something that I still to work on, struggle with. But
me too.
I think to be your best self, you need to have that time where you can rewind and replenish. So I think even
Yeah,
that's a part of leadership, finding that time to take care of yourself while you're
yeah,
leading and instructing others, which is
right.
great. Take that time too to make sure that you're in a good place.
And that's
So that's
changed, right? So that's
yes,
changed. It used to be this mentality of like,
right.
I'm enjoying sleep now and trying to get it and like really trying to figure out, oh, I need this amount of sleep. And I didn't believe
Right.
in that. Back in the day, it was grind. Money never
Mhm.
sleeps. So you got to do this and
Right.
stay at it. And I don't think that's the best way
Yeah.
for longevity. I think you
Right.
can grind it out and you can do some amazing things in the short period of time.
Mhm.
Can't sustain that. You can't
Yeah.
sustain that. And so I'm really just now in my 50s trying to
Right.
figure out how to rest more, relax more, and
Mhm.
all that. And like you said, it's a journey. I don't have it figured out,
Right.
bro. I don't have it figured out,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm
Great.
trying.
So you share so
Mm.
much about what you do, your journey, all that. So tell our listeners how can they find you and how can they contact you online?
Yeah, they can find me www.monicadlivingston.com. Also, social media, Instagram is Livingston3636, Twitter is Livingston3636. On Facebook, I am just Monica D. Livingston. And I have to say, Google me, baby. I'm everywhere.
Great. I love that. Once again, thanks for being on the podcast. I really enjoyed the conversation. And to our guests, be sure to tune in. I'm sorry, to our audience, and be sure to tune in next week as we interview another successful minority entrepreneur here in the DMV area. So, as we close out, I always like to leave you with a positive quote affirmation. So, remember, in today's competitive business landscape, your business must embrace bold and disruptive strategies in order to sustain profitability and remain in the black.